Okay, we're on the plotting workshop, and we're gonna talk about linear functions again, but in this case linear functions that instead in the formula, instead of letter y, they have fx, which is kind of like the function notation for linears, well, for functions. Like it could be like any kind of function. The process is basically the same, so let's do it. Okay, we are going to begin with step 1, table of values. Okay, so for the table of values, we're going to have to make a table like this one. We're going to put x and y in here. On the x, we're going to put -2 on this side, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Yes, so I'm going to put those numbers, and in order to get the letter y, we're going to have to use the formula of the exercise to find the answers. Okay, I'm going to color this. Use this color. Okay, so I'm going to use this, the exercise formula. So I'm going to copy the formula, that is fx equals x minus 1. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use each one of these x's in the formula. So f, and the first x is -2, so I'm gonna put f -2 equals, and instead of the x, I'm gonna put -2, so -2 minus 1. Okay, so same thing, f -2 equals -2, and -1 will be -3, and that will be the answer. Okay, now you see -2 inside parentheses. That doesn't mean that it's multiplying. No, this is a particular way that we use to say that the number we're gonna get is the letter y using -2 as an x. This is a language that we use and we call function notation. It's a little bit different than the usual math language, so if you see this thing in parentheses, that doesn't mean that it's multiplying. No, it's not. Okay, so -3 will be the answer that I'm going to put in here. So in here I'm going to put -3. Okay. Now I'm going to continue with the other ones. Okay, so I'm going to copy the same thing, the formula again, and I'm going to put f of the next number is -1. I already worked with -2, now I'm going to work with -1, so -1, and in the formula I'm going to change letter x with -1, so -1, -1. Okay, now this -1 is the one I'm using from the table because it's the one I'm changing instead of x, and the other -1 is the one I'm just copying from the formula. F -1 equals -1 minus 1 is -2. Okay, -1 minus 1 is -2. So I'm going to put in here -2. Okay, I'm going to continue with number 0. Okay, so remember that we have plenty of spacing here on our notebooks, so we don't need to work on this like vertically, so we can continue on the right side of our notebook. So I'm going to put fx, and instead of the x I'm going to put 0, so 0 minus 1, and fx will be 0 minus 1 is -1. So my answer for the next value of y will be -1. I'm going to work with 1, and then I'm going to work with 2. Okay, so copy the formula again, and instead of x I'm gonna put 1. And in this case it will give me 1 minus 1, 0. So the answer for this, for x equals 1, the answer for y will be y equals 0. Okay. And the last one I'm going to work with number 2. So f of number 2, the image of number 2 will be 2 minus 1. F 2 minus 1 is 1, so the answer for this one will be in here 1. Okay, so I've finished my table of values. That will be step 1 of this exercise.